So we're talking about line. We talked about line yesterday. We're going to just go make a little icon that has a little curve and stepped up line right there. So just make that little thing, little squiggle, and then fill it in. And next, shape. Make a little icon for shape, and just make this little like diamond, and then a little diamond inside.
Okay. Chip.
And then fill that in. Form, we're going to make another little box, and we're going to make another little cube inside there as our little icon. So start with the square. And then off this left corner, upper left corner, do a diagonal line. And then the bottom left corner, make another diagonal line.
Make a cube.
And then connect them with a vertical line.
Looks like a book.
And then a diagonal line off the lines you just made, that corner you just made. Actually, it's a horizontal, sorry. And then connect those two. And you have a little cube, and then fill it in. So what were the 4 types of line that we discussed yesterday? You guys can look back in your notes if you want.
Vertical lines.
Vertical?
Curves.
Raise your hand. Yes, Jason. JD. Curves, nice. Yes, what else?
Horizontal.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
Horizontal.
Horizontal. And
Vertical. Diagonal.
vertical. Horizontal.
Diagonal.
Diagonal. Right up there. So I just shortened them for you. Anybody remember the 2 types of shapes? Brenda.
Irregular shapes and regular shapes.
What?
Regular shapes.
Regular shape and
Irregular.
irregular shapes. Yep. So irreg and reg.
Non-shape.
Yeah, we did talk about non-shapes and that if unless it's a closed form, if it's not a closed form, then it's not a shape. So that's kind of going in the next one, form. So we had 2D, 3D, and a closed and open form.
Can we write that too?
We're going to make a cube. Go ahead. I'm going to count down. I'm going to actually use my blue lines as a guide. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 lines down, and start from the top on the right side. So start on the right side. You're going to make a vertical line right there, just like this. So use your ruler. Make a vertical line on the right side of your paper. Yes.
Do we do our papers like this?
Then we're going to use the blue line and draw on the blue line. It helps you. And you have to try and make your 2 lines about the same length. If you want to measure them, if you know how to do that, go ahead. If you don't, just try to eyeball it. And then you're going to finish the square. Next, so I'm putting a diagonal at the top right corner, going back to the blue line. So I'm touching the blue line. Because I'm going to make a horizontal using that blue line. Next, go ahead and make another diagonal. Notice that this diagonal line is also touching the same blue horizontal line. Guess that you're going to go ahead and use that blue line as your horizontal and connect the two diagonals.
I guessed it and did it before you even.
Easier if you drop the vertical, the vertical on the back first. So you just put a vertical line straight up and down from that corner down. And I did it like halfway down that from the first line, this line, and then connect them. So that's like your first introduction to perspective, even though we weren't really using perspective, but we just made a 3D object. But it's not really a 3D object until we add a little bit of shading. I'm going to make a little light, a little representation of a light. So in order to have a shadow, you need to have a light source. If you don't have a light source, you can't have shadows. So on the opposite side of the light is where the darkest side will be. So out of these 1, 2, and 3, which one's going to be the darkest side?
2.
2 indeed. The furthest from the light. So I'm going to go ahead and shade my end as dark as I can. That means that you're putting as much pressure on your pencil as you can. The more pressure you put on your pencil, the darker the shading will be.
And the faster it'll dull.
True.
No. No. No.
And then I'm going to back off my shading and give a medium.
Here we go.
And then I did a little bit on top. Now the shadow on the floor is directly opposite of the light. And if you notice, in order to separate my box from the shadow, I just left a little bit of light here. And there's your first 3D object.